Hello, welcome into Extra Time. Thank you, as always, for your tweets. Stevie, Nicol and Shaka Hislop alongside me. Shaka, it's been a long time. Lots of questions for you. The first one says, has there ever been a time where Shaka had a goal scored against him and was more impressed by the goal than upset that the opponent scored?
That's a good question. I don't know. Well, no, I'm always upset when the opponent scored. Conceded some good ones. And I keep bringing this up. Matt Letitia had my number incredibly, and felt as though he could beat me from anywhere, and probably did. And he, probably as much as anybody at the time, scored incredible goals that you had to appreciate, even if you conceded them. So none jumped to mind.
What
but
about the Steven Gerrard one, Jack? Did you appreciate that?
What?
Did you appreciate the Steven Gerrard one in the cup final?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't, Stephen. Not as much as you, I'm sure.
Correct.
Yeah, see? Goodness.
As Shaka finished his career at West Ham, what was it like to play behind closed doors every home game? Oh.
I mean, what?
I think there's a touch of sarcasm there.
Right. As in playing for who? For Dallas or what? I don't understand the question.
West Ham.
What's wrong with your connection, Shaq? West Ham.
What was that behind closed doors playing for West Ham?
It's not getting this at all.
No, I'm not.
Shaka,
I can't see
it's
the
a
full tweets. I don't
sarcastic
understand
question about
what's saying.
finishing
I'm
your
only seeing
career
half of it in my
with
screen,
West
so I
Ham
can't read the
and
full
playing
thing.
behind closed doors. Ha 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 ha.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Stevie.
I get it. Shaka. It's a sarcastic. It's a sarcastic kick up the backside that you finish your career with West Ham and playing behind closed doors. Ha ha ha! Nobody was at the game anyway. Do you get it now?
Well, no one's at the game for West Ham.
Hey, ask another question.
Stevie,
What were you done?
Move on. We're moving on. That is it. Done.
Move on.
The whole thing. Move on.
Doesn't make any sense. Move on.
Bigger fall from glory, Stevie, in the last 10 years? AC Milan or Manchester United?
Oh, AC Milan. Absolutely, AC Milan. I mean,
not that hard. It's AC Milan.
At least Manchester United still have some big name players in their team. I mean, AC Milan don't even have that to cling on to. They've got nothing. They're struggling to get back in Europe.
They've got Donnarumma.
Yeah, but hold on. They've got Zlatan, who's 125 years old. And Donnaruma's still a kid. And you're telling me that he's their superstar? A kid? Who's actually been okay, not particularly fantastic in my opinion, the last 12 months. So, come on. AC Milan. Easy peasy answer. AC Milan.
Shaka, if this outbreak was during your playing career, how would you have coped with keeping up in shape from not playing for weeks?
Like everybody's trying to do right now. Wherever you could do outside, you get that done. I mean, it's a challenge because, listen, the big part about keeping in shape is you're trying to keep match sharp and training, etc. And without that, without being able to share training pitch with anybody, all you could do is go for runs, which wasn't necessarily my forte. Still isn't.
No.
So it's tough. I don't know how you do it. And which brings to the other point, whenever this does lift, how long between an end of restrictions and the restarting of respective football leagues? Because teams are going to have to get back into full shape. You can't just get back out on the pitch. That's not fair on anybody.
Stevie, how would you have coped?
Yeah, no question. Go for runs. Absolutely, 100%. No, you can. In my opinion, and if you can't get outside, you can get on a bike or you can get on a treadmill. So you can keep a level of fitness up. The only thing you can't do is, well, there's two things you'll lose. You'll lose what we call game sharpness, which you only get anyway by playing in games. You can run all day. You'll never get that unless you're playing games. And obviously you touch on the ball because you're not going to be touching the ball. But as far as keeping a good level of fitness, you can do that. As I said, ideally you can go outside and run, but if you're not allowed to do that, then you can get on a bike or a treadmill. So yeah, for a professional, it shouldn't be that difficult.
Will Shaka do a power rankings league with Belarus, Burundi, Nicaragua and Tajikistan club teams soon? They're the only leagues going.
Well, that's a good idea, actually. Maybe I should, because, you know, I know the world needs power rankings to keep going. I'll give it some thought, Dan. Thanks for the suggestion.
Good. Probably make as much sense as your normal ones, to be fair.
I don't know what you're trying to suggest. The world quite clearly misses the power rankings, obviously.
Stevie, more difficult to stay on top as a professional player or as a professional manager?
Oh, manager.
Really?
Manager. Well, as a player, you can theoretically do without anybody else. You can keep yourself motivated. You can keep yourself fit. You can keep your level of performance depending on your ability, whether you're an 8, a 9, or a 10, or whatever. You can do all these things. As a manager, not only have you got to make sure that you're on top of your game yourself, but you're having to make sure that there are 15, 16 players on top of the game. Then you've got to make sure your staff's on top of the game, and you know how many people or how much staff teams have got now. No, a manager's job is a tough one. You know, most people certainly when you're playing. If you're a player, you think coaching is pretty straightforward and pretty easy. You know, unfortunately, when you actually start coaching, you understand that coaching is probably the smallest part of your day. The rest of your day spent doing all kinds of other nonsense that probably drags you down more than anything else. So, no, absolutely, manager's tough. As a player, you can make sure that you're in good shape, good health, good mind, good spirit, the whole thing, because that's all you got to worry about. As a manager, you've got 1,000 other things to worry about and think about.
Shaka, I just rewatched the 2006 World Cup highlights. Did you really think you had a chance to save Gerrard's goal, or was it just a courtesy dive?
No, I knew it was in. I knew it was in from the time he hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, the strange thing, I've spoken about this before. In the 2006 FA Cup final, just as Gerrard is lining his shot up, the equaliser, I hear the stadium announcer come over the tannoy and say, "There's 4 minutes," or, you know, wherever the statement is. The fourth official has indicated 4 minutes of extra time, and I heard him say that just as the ball landed at Steven Gerrard's feet in that West Ham Liverpool game. And then in the Transabigo against England game, again, we right at extra time. Just Gerrard picks the ball up at the edge of the box. I hear the stadium announcer come over and say there'll be a minimum of 2 minutes. Right from the time I heard that, I was like, this is it. And so said, so done. I mean, there's no way I was getting there. No way.
Shaka, I was listening to the Jamie Carragher podcast and he was talking to Steven Gerrard about that goal. And they were discussing in the build-up, they were so surprised that a West Ham player, instead of kicking the ball out long, just put it out pretty much quite near the West Ham goal. And obviously from there, Steven Gerrard scored. Was something that was ever picked up on in the West Ham camp?
Yes, it was. And I remembered well. It was Lionel Scaloni, who, the Argentinian, I think he was on loan from Inter Milan. He was recently the Argentina national team coach, if you remember. I think promoted from the under-20s. But anyway, he was all right back on the day. Gerrard went down with a calf pull, and Scaloni had the ball no more than 6 or 10 yards from the end. And instead of hoofing it up the pitch, which you should do in that circumstance, just kind of common professional sense would tell you that, he put it out right there for a throw-in, right by our touchline. And then Liverpool took the throw, threw it back to us, pressured us, and then the clearance fell perfectly for Steven Gerrard. And he, within a couple of touches, the rest, as it says, history. I remembered well as well, because after, we got our runners-up medals, and so we went back to the dressing room. And I remember somebody, and I can't remember who it was, sitting next to me, speaking about it, and about to get up to kind of front Lionel Scaloni about it. And I just put my arm across them and said, leave it. It don't make any sense, trying to go over that or correct that mistake or getting into a heated exchange about that. But it was really tense in the dressing room after that final, all because of that.
Do you know the other thing about that?
We know how big Shaka's arms are. Stop it.
Dan, you know the other thing about that, Shaka? So there's actually a couple of things that could have changed that. Yeah, you're right that he could have kicked the ball long and put it out of play. But even after that, when the throw-in was taken, I'm not sure who it was, but your man was standing a yard from the goal line. Had he just let it run out, it would have gone for a goal kick as well. Yeah. So actually, you had two opportunities to make a difference in this, and you messed both of them up.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when you review, especially those last few minutes, and then even into extra time, you just felt it was never going to happen. In extra time, our best chance to win the game fell to Marlon Harewood, who had turned his ankle pretty badly a couple of minutes before, but we had already used all 3 substitutes, so he couldn't come off. And then all of a sudden, I think Pep Reina made this incredible save off the crossbar that fell to Marlon Harewood, 6 or 7 yards out from goal. And I mean, it was a chance that I jokingly refer to as one that even I would score, but Marlon could barely stand up and just kind of swung a leg at it, and Reina made the second save. I think all those things kind of added up. When you look back on it, you just have to say, I mean, and of course the Steven Gerrard goal, you just have to say this was never going to be our day.
Oh. Any more salt we'd like to rub into Shaka's wounds, or should we move on?
No, let's move on.
Yeah, absolutely, aye. Hey, what about the
yeah?
goal you scored? It was a cross. Who was the left back? He crossed the ball in and it went in the top corner. I didn't hear you mentioning that.
Was that Konchesky? Was it Konchesky who went to Liverpool in the end?
Yeah, that was a great decision. That who bought him?
I'm staying on to that.
Then, final one, Stevie. You have to choose no more shepherd's pie or you become a throwing coach. Which one?
Well, there's no way I'm packing in shepherd's pie. Not a chance.
Right.
So I'll go the other way. I'll go the throwing coach.
You could be a throwing coach.
What a great job. Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Seriously, you could do it.
That's it. Thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated. Great to have you on. ESPN FC back on your screens tomorrow. Feel free to tweet us if you like at ESPN FC.
I mightn't understand the tweet, but carry on.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.